Yep, that's going off. Just consistently? Yep. Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay guys, so it is officially day 0 of the Washoe Club road trip. We are going from Colorado all the way out to Virginia City, Nevada with my 1992 Mazda Miata. So it's actually the evening before we are leaving. So we're just going to make sure that the Miata is as prepared as it will be. We're gonna do a couple of things like toss in some tools. We're going to double check the spare tires air pressure. We're going to make sure that we have a battery jumper and like emergency kit in there, etc. As well as like torque down the lugs just to make sure that they are at the spec that they need to be. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so I think that's gonna cover it for tonight and just being prepared in general. Yeah, those are just common things to check on a road trip. So, you know, make sure that the lugs are torqued down, make sure you have tools, make sure you have a jack, make sure your spare tire is full. But final thing I'm gonna do tonight is probably just vacuum the car really quick, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Okay, so we just made it to the Palisade Grand Junction area. This is kind of our first stop after about 4 hours of driving. But car's doing awesome. The AC being cold definitely helps out. So, and also there's been no idling issues, which is awesome. But yeah, roads have been super fun and everything's going smoothly so far. No traffic, which is awesome. But yeah, we're just stopping for some lunch and then we'll be back on the road. All right, so we finished up lunch and a nice little wine tasting here at Brazen Winery. It's a super awesome place. If you're in the area of Palisade, Colorado, definitely check it out. But yes, now we're about to leave and get on our way to Murray, Utah, and that's where we'll be staying for the night. So it's another 4.5 hours or so. We'll see how everything goes. Dude, I don't know if you can hear me right now or not. Hopefully you can, but yeah, my coolant temps were getting a little bit spicy back there, and thank God for that rain. Luckily I did bring some coolant, so if I'm out, we'll just add some more at the next stop, but damn, that was a hell of a rainstorm. Miata's getting pushed around all over the place. Okay, so we made it here to the Airbnb in Murray, Utah. We're gonna go and grab some grub and probably call it a night. But yeah, overall, still doing well. Miata's still holding up, so 30-year-old car, still killing it. Okay guys, so we are here at day 2 for the Washoe Club trip. We are going from Murray, Utah to Elko, Nevada for lunch, and then we're just driving the rest of the way to Reno and staying the night there. And we're actually getting or we have a reservation for the Washoe Public House. And when I got that reservation reminder yesterday, saying that it was today, I was like, damn, it's way too early. But it's actually for the restaurant, it wasn't for the saloon. So, but yeah, it should be another longer drive today, but got a couple of stops planned along the way. But we should be in good shape. Let's get into it. So I gotta tell you guys something. These chairs, when I was, or these seats, they're called seats when they're in cars. They're not called chairs. These seats, when I was initially driving, just like the first 4 hours, they were absolutely killing me in my back. But now I'm not sure if the Miata is just like healing me, or you know, maybe the seats are made out of like salt rocks or something, but my back's feeling a lot better, or you know, maybe it's just contorting more to fit the shape of the seat. But either way, it's getting comfier as we drive, which is kind of weird. So at this point, some of you might be wondering, like, hey, why would you take a 30-year-old tiny car and try to road trip it for 2,000 miles? And the answer is because it's fun. It's kind of just a car enthusiast thing, you know. If you have a car that you enjoy driving, taking it on road trips is an awesome way to get to know the car better. Like, example here is that I didn't know how to drive stick shift before this car, and you know, I've been slowly getting it, but this trip has definitely got it way more ingrained in me, so it's pretty cool. You also get to learn a lot of the quirks of the car. Shout out to Daddy Doug with that one. But yeah, you know, you just get to know the car better. Also, one thing that I did not realize at all is that we were going to be passing the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah, and that's where like a lot of the, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the land speed records were set, and I think are still being set. But yeah, if I had realized that we were passing by there, I totally would have put that as a stop. That was my bad, but maybe a separate trip. Okay, so we just crossed from Utah into Nevada, which is awesome. I think we're well over halfway at this point, which is great. So yeah, everything's still doing well in the Miata. Everything's checking out. Temps are nice. Oil is peg right in the middle, which is awesome. And the AC is still working, which is actually quite shocking to me. I thought that it was gonna die. I thought that it was gonna die long ago, like 4 hours into the trip. But yeah, still sitting pretty, still very comfortable, and the road trip's been awesome so far.
Probably.
What kind of snacks did you bring on the road trip?
A lot of M&Ms
Nice.
that don't survive long.
That's a good choice.
Nutella biscuits. I don't know if you know what those are, but those slap. Also don't survive very long. And whatever else Lauren put in the bag.
Nice. So, are you just eating melted M&Ms?
It's actually not melted, so at least the ones I have are pretzel. The other ones I have are caramel. So those might be melted.
Nice. It's a good choice. Good choice, sir. So you've heard of she shacks and man caves, but you ever heard of the Babe Cave? Have you heard of the Babe Cave?
Oh yeah, that's where you get your shit waxed.
On the road, we are now heading from Elko, Nevada to Reno, Nevada, and yeah, that was actually, Elko was a really cool place. Super historical, a lot of old buildings. Also, that wrap that we got from that deli, holy hell, man, that was seriously the best wrap I think I've ever had. Wraps are always kind of like a toss-up and being like, oh, are they going to be good, are they going to be bad? That one fully exceeded my expectations. But yeah, probably about another 4 hours to Reno. We will see you there. Alright guys, so we made it to Reno successfully. Like I said, those coolant temperatures were getting a little bit spicy back there, but we'll be taking a look after we get back from dinner to see if there's anything going on like low coolant, or if we have a cracked coolant tank or something, or if the radiator is just bad. I'm not sure if we'll be able to tell if that's the case or not, but either way, awesome that this has made it, and excited to continue driving it. So it's been a blast so far, but yeah, we'll be taking a look at the coolant here shortly. Alright guys, so it is day 3 of the Washoe Club road trip. Landed it in Reno last night, got dinner and called it quits after that, but yeah, today we are going to be going to Carson City for some hot springs and some food. After that, we make our way over to Virginia City, which is where the Washoe Club is located. So that's what we're going to be up to today. We're actually going to be doing the investigation tonight. I've got a bunch of ghost hunting equipment, so it should be a lot of fun. We're not taking it super seriously, but yeah, it'll be real cool to check it all out. Oh yeah, and let's take a look at the coolant levels here. Okay, so yeah, coolant still looks totally fine.
A wild Sasquatch.
That's gonna wrap up the hot springs. Super cool because they had a restaurant right next to it as well as a brewery. Very delicious, awesome people, yeah, so now we are heading our way to Virginia City. We're actually getting there a little bit earlier than I expected, so we're gonna stop by Mackay or Mackey, check that place out, and then just kind of mess around Virginia City for a little while until we are ready to investigate the Washoe Club. Damn, the road leading up to Virginia City is super steep, and Miata maxed out on heat, so we're gonna chill for a little bit. Damn, yeah, and talk about timing, it is like literally right up this hill.
Those weren't as old as these.
Tate, you look mighty fine on that staircase. Telling me you like the bean.
Like halfway through.
Spicy pickle bean.
Little bean in there.
Bean.
Freestanding staircase. What that means is there is an entire support beam in the middle holding up the entire thing. In fact, this is actually the world's longest freestanding staircase. There's a common belief that if you have two mirrors facing each other, it creates an infinity loop, which then creates a ghost portal. The two mirrors I'm talking about, you guys already saw the demo in this mirror I just showed you guys. If you stand in that room and you look to the right, there's another mirror on that wall right there. Investigations got so scared that they actually punched him because I came in here and his head was like this.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and as you can see, it actually takes some force to push it back there.
Yeah.
So someone like straight up.
Okay, so it is time for the Washoe Club investigation. We actually get to set up in the back of the Washoe Club with our camping gear, so we will be staying here overnight. But yeah, we're just about to get into it and get the doors locked, so should be pretty cool. We got a little tour upstairs, and it's super dope, so very, very excited. Also, I will be sleeping right next to the crypt where they stack up a bunch of bodies. Not in the modern day, of course, but when it was older. But yeah, you can see my bed is chilling right there. Everybody else is over there. Took one for the team.
Just as a reminder, do not step on the middle, just step on the first. Okay, or step on the middle, that's fine. Don't step on the middle ever.
She said that like the top of the stairs. Let me just test this really quick. Nice. There's the X. Nice. Alright, yeah. Pretty sure I just heard a full grab on this rim pod over here. Let's see. So this device that you're looking at right now, it is called a rim pod. It'll detect whether or not there is EMF, or if something is getting close to it. It'll also detect temperature swings. It was even higher pitched than that. Ballroom is definitely the creepiest.
You think so?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's also a really cavernous room. I'm gonna set down a cat ball right there. Just for the heck of it. Yep, that's going off. Just consistently? So initially I thought that the high-pitched beeps that the REM pod was emitting were just a malfunction of the device, so I tried resetting it a couple of times. But turns out that that actually means that the temperature of the room is getting hotter. And this correlates with some evidence that we get a little bit later on. Yep. Hoo-hoo-hoo. So So we've gotten 2 grabs on the rim pod in the ballroom. And I caught one of them on camera. And this is the creepy mirror? Yeah. Okay. Doing it again. That's weird.
That's all the eggs.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and try out the spirit box. And we'll just sweep it forward. It's actually a little bit hot in here. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like I'm gonna reset that. So at this point, we are still investigating the ballroom. I'm in the room with my friend Kat, and I make the comment that it feels particularly hot in here, and the REM pod shortly after detects a temperature swing up.
Who's asked you to turn it off? What's your name?
There's a response there that I can tell it was.
Is it Lena?
I swear that said Lena.
I heard there's a miner up here. Is it the old miner?
Sometimes.
Is it Gretchen? Whoever it is, can you move that ball?
REM pod. For the 3rd time on camera and the 4th time during the investigation, the REM pod detects another swing up in temperature. Funny.
What's so funny?
Shortly after catching that swing up in temperature, we hear something come through the spirit box. It sounds like it's saying funny or going. Can't quite tell. Let us know in the comments below what you think.
Do you like to dance?
Yeah.
Should we put on some music? Who's in the room with us? Is there multiple? Yes. Can you do something to let us know you're here?
I just said yes. Was that a whistle?
Someone's moving around.
So we heard a whistle while we were in the ballroom. It was audible. We heard it in person as well as on camera. There is no power or smoke alarms in the top 2 floors of the building based on what we could see, except for 2 extension cords that came through some windows. So that was an interesting experience to say the least. Thank you. So shortly after hearing a REM pod beep for a very short amount of time, didn't even realize it while I was there, but the REM pod was between the poker room and the ballroom, but I was making my way back over to the 2nd floor landing to make my way up to the 3rd floor and heard what sounded like pool table noises. The super interesting part about this is that I had no idea that there was a billiards room in this building at one point, but after looking up the history, it seemed like there was one room that was dedicated to it. I don't know where exactly it was, but still, my first reaction to hearing it was, that sounds like pool balls clanking together. Hey, cool. Wow, I got turned around.
Getting weird vibes from the Willie Nelson one.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what are you feeling?
I don't know. I went in there earlier and asked, like, is it okay if I take photos?
Yeah.
And was like, hey, make a sound. Then I heard a sound. So I was like, I just want to confirm that was not a coincidence.
Yeah.
And then I heard a different sound. And then I just walked in there and heard something creak. And it sounded like it came from the Willie Nelson.
Like wood creaking?
Yeah, like when I was walking. Like I stepped into the door and I heard a creak from the side. And then I got a chill walking into the room. So I just walked out.
Should we try an EVP in there really quick?
I think it might be worth it.
Okay. That went quick. All right, it's already 1:09 in the morning. Mike, Keith, and I are just going upstairs. We have the EVP as well as the spirit box and a flashlight. Oh yeah, and we got our little cat ball up here. Dude, it's here. This was on earlier.
It was.
That was for sure on earlier. That's weird. We allowed to go back there?
Yeah, this is Scott's room.
Okay. Just heard it say Scotty.
Are you hanging out on top of the barrel? Feel free to talk directly into the device in my hand.
So we were on the third floor inside of Scotty's room. Scotty had a son that unfortunately lost his life in a mine shaft after playing with some friends. He just fell through it, which is unfortunate, but shortly after that, Scotty decided to take his own life within this very room, which is a super sad story, but yeah, we got some really good evidence up here, as you'll see shortly. The rest of the crew that we brought with us was in the second floor at the poker room. Just for confirmation, we are talking to Scotty. Turn that on if that's the case. If not, leave it off. If this is not Scotty and somebody else, turn it on. Damn. I'm gonna go and... Oh, damn. So it's somebody else.
Sorry, we were calling you Scotty.
Yeah.
Misinformed as to who regularly hangs out in this room, or was in this room.
So within Scotty's room, it was just myself, Keith, and Mike, and we had the flashlight sitting there this whole time, and suddenly it started to respond, which was pretty cool. And the whole mag light, flashlight method, I'm pretty skeptical of, just because in a lot of scenarios, that flashlight will just turn off and on at random, as you'll see later in the video. But these were very, very clear responses, and I had purposely set the flashlight to be completely off. Like, you could not shake it around, you couldn't bump something in order to turn it on, so these responses were pretty damn compelling. Did you live in this building? Turn it on if that's the case. Okay. Thank you. This is cool. Apparently they want to communicate through flashlight.
That's really fucking cool.
Were you here around the time that the fire broke out in Virginia City? Turn it on if that's the case. Oh, damn. Okay. Apologies if we're getting a little bit excited. It's just cool to see what you can do. Did you die in the fire of Virginia City? Turn it on if that's the case. So you survived the fire of Virginia City? If it's a yes, turn that on. Very nice. Super glad to hear that you survived it. So next up, what we're gonna try and do is that we're gonna place a recording device, and it should allow you to use your real voice. I'm just gonna place it there right next to the flashlight. And if you're okay with that, turn on the flashlight. Guess they're not okay with it. Well, that's totally fine. We'll go ahead and respect that. We'll probably get out of here. I think that was confirmation. Well, thank you so much for the communication.
Great talking with you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.
It's pretty damn sweet. So while the three of us were upstairs in Scotty's room, like I said, the rest of the crew was downstairs in the poker room on the second floor. Apparently they were playing Saloon music. We couldn't hear it upstairs whatsoever. It's strange how insulated that place can be. But you remember the REM pod screaming and indicating that there was a temperature change and how the local area was heating up in temperature. So that actually correlates with what they experienced in the poker room. It was caught off camera, so you're just gonna have to trust me on this one, unfortunately. But they were there asking questions, and they had the REM pod go off as if something grabbed it, and luckily somebody was aiming the temperature gun right at the chair where that was happening, and the temperature gun measured 120 degrees. So really, really interesting to see that correlation there. We're just taking a quick break back down here. Had some cool stuff happen. In the poker room, we had a REM pod go off.
Okay, what the fuck just happened?
was that?
Dude, I didn't touch that shit.
It just did its own thing.
What?
I didn't touch that
Was
shit.
that the typewriter?
Yes, it was that.
Yeah, we
I
just
didn't even touch that.
we just had that go off on us. Made a little ding.
Hold on. Did you? I heard it.
Okay, so the plan is that we're gonna go back up, probably go to the poker room. We're gonna try doing men only in the poker room, just because, you know, historically, women weren't really able to gamble. And then after that, we'll head to the 3rd floor, and we might call it quits after that. We've still got a long drive ahead of us tomorrow morning, so we'll see how we're feeling, but that's the general plan right now. What's up?
Like, it's literally. What? It's dead. We came back upstairs and it died.
If you're ready to gamble, set that off again. I don't know, was it me? Let me double check here. No, it wasn't me.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna be able.
Yeah, so we're here at the poker table. Oh, he is ready to play. That just turned on by itself. So at this point, we were in the poker room and it was getting pretty late in the night. And I don't think I had quite set the mag light flashlight to the correct setting. It seemed like it was randomly turning on and off and flickering, so I don't know how legitimate that evidence was, but it was still cool to experience and grateful to be a part of that whole adventure.
What? Holy fucking Jesus.
No way.
I saw him earlier, I think, on the wall.
I've got it. Clear.
I thought I saw him on this wall earlier.
What? That has to be a mannequin.
That has to be a fucking mannequin.
Is Lena in this room? Hi, Lena.
Whoa.
Wow. Amazing.
Those have been really good responses. Ooh.
Where's Miss Lena? Who's been?
Lena, right?
I think it's Miss Lena.
Oh, nice.
Lena.
Earlier in the night, there were 3 of us in the other room right nearby, and we were communicating with you similarly. Is this the same person we were talking with? Different. Oh, same person. Dude, it's like right when you're about to be like, nope, nope, it's not.
Thank you for turning that on. Thank you so much.
If I just saw you, can you come say hello again?
So at this point, the investigation was winding down. We were all in the doll room on the 3rd floor, and my friend Tate decided to go and investigate the hallways just in the immediate area outside of that room. And he saw a shadow, and then the REM pod that we had in the hallway went off simultaneously. We all heard it. Unfortunately, I wasn't fast enough to get the REM pod lighting up on camera, but still a very cool experience to report nonetheless. Washoe Club. Spent the night in the museum area with our camping gear and got to use pretty much every single piece of ghost hunting equipment that I purchased for this trip. Seemed like everybody had a really fun time. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a little bit more intense when we were actually doing the investigation, but it was actually pretty peaceful. I would actually say it's similar to fishing, where it's like if you get a bite, you get all excited. But yeah, that was an awesome stay. I'm probably running on about 2 hours of sleep, but I feel really damn good. I was just talking with my friend Keith about this. It's kind of concerning because I don't even feel like I need an energy drink or like coffee right now by any means. But yeah, overall, Washoe was a huge win. If you're in the area, I'd highly recommend checking out pretty much all of the historical buildings there. And, you know, going on their tours or donating to them. It's awesome to see that some of these buildings from like the 1850s are still standing. But yeah, now we're just on our way back home to Colorado. So another 1,000 miles. Here we go. We are taking a slightly different route this time. So it'll be somewhat of a new experience. But it's going to be a long haul. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. All right, so we were meeting up at breakfast and recapping what people had experienced during the time that we were supposed to be sleeping. That's right, folks. The paranormal activity didn't end when the investigation ended. But that being said, 3 or 4 people from the crew had experienced what sounded like footsteps, as well as a variety of vocals, maybe some of them saying no, maybe some of them screaming, but they had all experienced the same thing while we were staying in the museum area. So I really hope that nobody from the public got inside while we were sleeping. It was probably between the hours of like 4 and 5 a.m. But the weird thing is that it, according to other crew members, the walking sounded like it was diagonal in the building, so somebody would have had to have been passing through walls, which is interesting. But I had noise-canceling headphones in the whole time, and I didn't hear any of it, unfortunately or fortunately. But yeah, interesting little tidbit during the night. Okay, so we made it back home all in one piece, safe and sound. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that road trip as much as I did and found it interesting. I'd love to know where you'd like to see us go next. You know, if you know of any haunted places in your area that are available to be booked, definitely comment below. I'd love to support them. But that being said, thank you guys so much for the support. It really means a lot to see that subscriber growth just ticking up slowly day over day. And as a reminder, I upload every Sunday, and we will see you in the next one.